Hey guys, this is RC Peck with Fearless Wealth. What if what you've been taught about diversification is wrong? And in fact, what if diversification is actually hurting the growth of your money? So I want to hit something straight on and talk about the cost of diversifying, and specifically talking about how to, or should we, or how best do you diversify international or domestic. Now look, we're not even given a choice whether we should be really investing international or domestic. We're set up with the frame that, well, of course you should have some of your money diversified internationally. Maybe it should be 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 25 or 30 or 35, but we're never even said or framed or given the choice of whether we should even be diversified internationally. It's just presupposed that we should, right? Buying international is a great way to diversify your portfolio. But is that true? Is that really true? Or is this another one of those areas where maybe the system and the big box advisor world and the pick of the month newsletter world, that they've hurt you? So look, I typed this into Google, international versus domestic investment returns. And this was the first link that came up with this 116 million results. Literally what it says is in any given year, the best performing stock market is usually outside the US. International diversification has historically improved risk-adjusted returns. US-based multinationals, blah, 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 jargon, jargon, jargon. It's not even saying if you even should. If you go and look at the article, it talks about how best to, right? Everyone's presupposing you should have some of your money allocated overseas, right? The number I see thrown around the most is something like a 20 or 25-year performance. Now, this is a 25-year performance, and literally it's international stocks have grown at 11.2% annually for 25 years, and US domestic stocks have grown at 11.7%. Guys, it's basically the same number, right? So we're led to believe, man, I don't know when it changes. Like sometimes international, this month international, next month is domestic, or next year's domestic, and then the year after that's international. We're led to believe that this is the way, this is the approach that's best for your money. But it's not. It's something that probably stopped working decades ago, if ever at all. So let's think about this visually, and let's really put really what's best at the center of your money and not necessarily what feels best to you. So look at this price chart right here. This is a price chart comparing international and US domestic stocks. Now, clearly there's just one squiggly line on the chart. If the squiggly line is in a downtrend, that means international stocks are underperforming domestic stocks. Now, look at this. Your brain knows that international has been underperforming greatly sometimes, or subtly sometimes, but it's been underperforming US domestic for 12 years. This is significant. This is a reason why people are waking up 5 or 10 or 15 years later and going, what happened? How come my money didn't grow better? This is a leak in people's portfolios. Now, I want to show you this. Again, this right here is a relative price chart. The type of price chart it is isn't necessarily the point I want to make with you right now. The point I want to make is your brain can clearly see the line is falling, and if the line is falling, that means international is underperforming US domestic. Now, I've taken the exact same data and I've just separated them, right? So now I'm just showing you US domestic by itself, S&P 500, and international stock market, which is the red line. Guys, look at this. US stocks went up 160% over the last 12 years. International stocks measured by the MSCI World ex-US index went up negative 11%. Now, most people, if they started with a $400,000 portfolio in 2007, they would have been directed to put, let's just for easy math, say 25%. That means 100,000 of the 400,000 would be on the red line, right? That means that 100,000 shrunk to 89,000. But you never see it because no one's ever described it to you this way, right? Because you've only been in conversations with big box advisors, probably. But if that 100,000 was fully on the blue line, that 100,000 would have become 260,000. Guys, that's a $271,000 difference. Now remember, you started out with $400,000. This is a drastic leak in most people's portfolios. That's the equivalent of someone's account not growing an additional 5.6% a year the last 12 years. 5.6%. That's percentage points, right? People are fighting over basis points, which are 1/100th of that. And I'm giving you a full 5.6% of a leak. Guys, you have to think about investing more visually than, it's not even a word, wordly. You can't read it. You have to see it. And US domestic doesn't always, outrun, beat international. Here's a case from 2002 to 2008. I want to let you guys know these move in cycles. So these cycles go back a long time where international outperforms for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Then US domestic outperforms for 4, 5, 6, 7. The most recent one is going on for 12 years. But again, here is a situation where if your advisor would have said, oh yeah, you should only have 25% international and the other 75 US domestic, that means 75% of your money in this case was on the blue line. Again, it's the exact same data. I'm just showing it to you differently. In this case, from 2002 to 2008, international went up 125% and US domestic went up just 50%. This is just one example of where people are literally, there's leaks in people's portfolios, in the hull of their boat. And the advisors are having them so focused on something that stopped working, if ever. So my message is clear. There's a better way. There's a more powerful way. And I put together almost like a documentary-like video that shows people how to get on the blue line. Now, the blue line is a strategy that I built called the Fearless Wealth strategy. And it's literally just asking one question. But there's this one thing that's more important than anything else. And I describe it in the video that I'm talking to you about. And many people have said this video has absolutely helped them get the clarity that they've been looking for. Not for looking for a week, but looking for 5 or 10 or 15 years. And so if you're interested in knowing more about that, you can just go ahead and click. Hey guys, this is just another step in really helping you get your money on the blue line, but really getting you the security and the safety and the consistency that you so deserve. Hey guys, my name is RC Peck, and thanks so much for being here. All right, take care.